What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Sneaker Homegirls podcast. I'm Rosetta Gutierrez-Uy.
And I am Maria DiMaggio Hickman. We're two Las Vegas realtors blending real estate, hustle, and sneaker culture all in one place.
If you're into real estate, entrepreneurship, and making big moves, then you're in the right spot.
We're breaking down market trends, sharing behind-the-scenes stories, and giving you game on how to build wealth through real estate.
And of course, we're talking sneakers, culture, and how we stay fresh while handling business.
So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. This is the Sneaker Homegirls podcast. Welcome to the Sneaker Homegirls podcast.
What's up?
What's up? Today we have a really great podcast. If you are a home buyer and you're thinking of selling, we are going to give you the top 10 tips to get your house ready to get on the market and get it sold. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So the first one that I feel is really important is getting the house as neutral as possible. So getting a good paint job with neutral colors, I think, is essential. We talked about this in a different episode, how I once had like a black wall and kind of had to change it. You can do color, I feel like, but it still needs to be pretty neutral so that everybody can see that house as their house when they walk through. You think?
The last listing I took had a Vegas green wall.
Oh.
So we advised them to change the color.
Yeah. And it helps because some people do get turned off by that. And you don't want to give a buyer any reason to not want to buy the house.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's my first one. What do you got?
All right. I thought we were going in order here.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Number 2, change filters. There is nothing more disgusting than we're showing a house and your filters are just corroded with dust and just nastiness. It just says a lot about the house. It just says that it's not well taken care of. Filters only take 2 seconds to change out. It's not very expensive. So if you're not changing out your filters, you're probably not doing the other maintenance on the house as well. So definitely change out your filters. That's my number 2. My number 3 is curb appeal. And what does that mean? Like when you say curb appeal, what do you feel like that means?
Means pulling all the weeds in the front yard, sweeping, maybe trimming some of the bushes that are out front. If the house needs some fresh paint, you want to think your first impression of the home when you're going there for the first time. When you walk up the driveway or the steps, the entryway to get there, and it's beautiful, you can't stop looking. Yeah. If it's kind of cracked and the grass isn't green and, there's a lot of dust and trash and stuff, you're like, maybe not this house.
Yeah. Exactly. I even just the floor mat, like when you walk up to the door and they have the mat at the door, if that's like corroded with leaves and just dirt, I don't know. It doesn't have the same feel as when you walk into a house that's like nice and organized and clean. So curb appeal is what you feel your first impression of the house. So that's really, really important. Another thing that I notice when going through listings is a lot of people are hoarders, and hey, no judgment, right? If that's you, that's you. But when it comes to selling a house, you really need to declutter. And even if it's getting one of those pods or a storage unit, it's not that expensive to do. And if you can really get the stuff out of your house before you list it, it will definitely make a huge difference. So please declutter. And that's one thing that we as your agents will come through and we'll kind of give you tips and tricks on what to get rid of, what to keep, how to organize. So definitely reach out to a professional for that one. And then this is simple, but I think people don't realize you got to clean your house. If you're having people walk through, you don't want to have dirty laundry laying out. You don't want to have dishes in the sink that are dirty. You just want to straighten up your house. And I will say in a kitchen, like I have all my stuff out on my kitchen counter, my air fryer, blender, all of that stuff. But when you're selling your house, those are the kind of things that you really need to put away and just let the kitchen feel open and clean and airy. It's why new homes sell so well, because they have that feel and everybody wants their kitchen to feel that way, although nobody's kitchen ever really looks like that.
No.
So, but make it happen so it has that presentation to it.
Maybe a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Maybe. For an hour.
I don't know if I even have. Maybe after the cleaning lady leaves.
Yeah.
That's about
Nobody touch anything.
Yes. All right. So those are the top 5 I have. What do you got?
So after you pre-list the home or get the steps that you need to cleaning, you're going to want to hire a real estate agent. You can ChatGPT some questions. You can hire a real estate team like us to help guide you through the process of what the paperwork will be, how you will coordinate your showings, and give yourself a game plan as you pack and get the house ready. Number 7, I have hire a professional photographer. I can't express to you enough, please do not take selfies in the mirror in your bathrooms. It just decreases the ultimate value of the home. You can make more money by hiring a professional photographer. Depending on what you look for, they could be a price you're not used to paying, but in the cost of how many offers you can get on your home is tremendous. So definitely invest in something like that. Number 8 is pricing it right. If you are going on market a little bit higher than you think, or your realtor is advising, or what the market is saying for you, you might spend more time on market comparing to pricing your home to sell. If you price it at a competitive market, the goal is to get above asking or multiple offer situations where people are now fighting for your home.
And that doesn't happen if it's overpriced. It's
No.
going to sit, and then you're going to end up decreasing. And then I feel like the home gets stigmatized a little bit. Like, why has this house been sitting so long? Why are they decreasing the price? Where if you just would have priced it right to begin with, it probably would have sold within a couple weeks. So
yeah. And I think for consumers too, they look at it and they're like, why has this been on the market for 100 days?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong? What's going on? And if you haven't seen the house before, you have no idea.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it is just because the price is too high.
Yep.
Number 9, staging. So blank, empty walls is hard to imagine buyers living there. That's why model homes sell really well. New homes sell really well because you see the couch and the kitchen and all the decorations and the paintings and stuff. So it really can enhance the buyer to be able to imagine themselves living in your home.
Yeah. And with that, the one thing you don't see in new home builds are pictures of families. And so one of the things that we try and do is get them to take down their personal photos. People have a hard time imagining their family living in a house where there's family pictures of your family all over. And not that you're not beautiful and your kids aren't beautiful, but the point here is to try and get your house sold and to get those buyers to feel like, wow, I can imagine myself living here. So taking down family pictures and stuff is usually advised as well.
Yeah, the family photos in the MLS as well, those pictures are there forever. So please take your family photos down, or at least put white papers over them, something if you don't have the time to take them down before market. But it does help with protecting yourselves while your home is on the market. And then number 10, we have be flexible with your showings. Vacant homes will sell faster and for more because realtors are able to go in there and show at their own convenience. If there is a owner occupied, which most of our sellers in our market are now because they're all baby boomers and have 80% equity, is be flexible and reasonable with your showings. If an hour makes more sense for you, 2 hours makes more sense for you to get more showings throughout the day, or maybe even an open house day and review offers on Monday. It really just depends on what that is. But those are our 10 things.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point too. We didn't talk about open houses, but I think open houses are a good way to drive traffic and kind of talk with your agent and see if they'll be willing to do open houses and kind of come up with a schedule, because I do believe that brings more people in to see your home. A lot of times people just don't want to be bothered with scheduling, but if they know on Sunday or Saturday they can walk through your house, they'll come through. So I think that's really important to do, is to have an open house as well. But it's, I think a lot of times, and when I'm out there, I get frustrated when I either try and use showing time, or I'm trying to make an appointment and agents aren't calling me back and they don't have the resident's phone number in there, so I can't call the resident directly. And, we as buyers agents, our clients want to see these homes, and it's hard to schedule an appointment. And a lot of times we just move past and we go to the next, because we've got to get these appointments scheduled so that we can be organized in what we're showing our buyers. So definitely, I think that's a big one. I wonder how many times that gets people held back a little bit when they can't get an appointment. So
Yeah, I think that when you're looking on the market and you see one pop up and it's not available that day, I like Showing Time. It's a software that we use to help schedule. For those who don't know, different MLSs use different markets or different softwares, but I think it's helpful. But I know some agents are like, do not send me a Showing Time.
and they put it in there. I'm like, what?
I'm like, I didn't mean to, I forgot. But I also think it's great because Sentry Lock is the lockbox that we use, and it connects. The Wi-Fi is not always great. Whoever's idea was Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. I'm always that person, like waiting for the key. Like, I'm so sorry.
I know. I do know what I'm doing. I promise.
And they're just like tapping their foot or something. I'm like, you're making me nervous. That's helpful because you can see who's coming in and out of your home as well. If you're a seller who's living in the property, it can be a little uneasy when you don't know who's going in your home. But if it's on Showing Time or appointment only, the realtor should be there with them, showing the home unless they're comfortable with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then going back to kind of decluttering, another thing is to get rid of your valuables.
Yeah.
You know, because if you are nervous about people coming through your house, which I totally get that, if you don't have anything valuable in there, it will relieve some of your tension. And you can go to the bank and get a safety deposit box and put your high valuables in, or like I said, get a storage unit, something like that, where you can lock them all up. But, your fears are understandable. Like, I get why people don't want just people walking through their home. But if you really want to sell the house, you got to have the least amount of limitations as possible. And definitely showing the home is a big one that can stop it. So
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like buyers are just like, no, it's okay.
yeah,
I'm like, but that one was really nice.
I know that one was like perfect for you.
I know, you're like, oh, but they can't see it.
Yeah.
You know, as realtors, we can see it. Or
Yeah.
if you've seen a lot of houses like all the time, because I
Yeah.
have some friends that do that.
Yeah,
They
just
look
go
around.
and look.
They're like, this house down the street just went for sale. And I'm like, okay, what's the address? They're like their own little realtors.
I know. Yes. And then you have the ones like you got a phone call last night who demand you to go show them a house and they're not even pre-approved. Let's talk about that one.
Oh boy. Being a female realtor isn't for the weak. Just being a realtor isn't for the weak, really.
No, for sure.
Or anyone in business,
Yeah.
honestly, because there are all different types of people
Yes.
on this earth. So this person called me yesterday and demanded after demand after demand. And the result of the end of it was just that I should do my job. Even though I was answering my phone on a Sunday in the afternoon, I was looking at some HOA documents and a home inspection. So I was working and I just called back because I got a missed call. Usually on Sundays, I try to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
And my clients know that for the most part. Unless like it's urgent and we need to do this, I will be there 100%. But it definitely threw me off because this person was just like, well, I don't need to give you a pre-approval. And I'm like, okay, well, it's a disservice to the seller and I don't know you and we've never met before that I meet you at this home when you haven't been pre-qualified or pre-approved. If you've been approved with the lender, like that's fine. You can send that over to me and I'll take that.
Absolutely.
Like that's totally okay. If you've gotten pre-approved with the lender before, you've been searching online and you see it, okay, cool. And also with the new laws now, you have to sign a BBRA agreement or a duties owed with someone you are now representing when you're going into the home. And it was a flabbergasting experience because this person was constantly just like, well, if you don't want to do your job, then I'm just going to cancel my appointment. Like, okay, well, I never said there was an appointment available.
Right.
I said I have the afternoon available if you'd like to schedule an appointment, and then I will schedule the appointments based on what you're looking for. And, I don't even have a copy of this guy's ID.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like,
I mean,
okay.
that's the one thing that a pre-approval does for us as realtors. Two things. One, obviously, we're showing them homes that they can for sure buy. But it's a protection on us because going through the pre-approval, we have, the lender has their social security, they have their photo ID. Like there's another element of protection, especially for us female realtors. Like it's a real thing. We get attacked. We have people who maybe like the way we look and they want us to meet them at a property, and God knows what their intentions are. And, we have to be a little bit more cautious than maybe our 6'8" realtor who's on our team. He doesn't have to worry so much about that. But I think, just a couple things. It was so disrespectful for him to talk to you like that. For him to insinuate that on a Sunday you weren't doing your job because you weren't going to drop everything and go show him a house. But he obviously was not thinking on obviously how us women have to think about our safety. And so what did you end up doing? What was the final outcome of it?
I was going to give it 24 hours before I respond.
That's a good idea.
Because that's not how I run my business. I don't think anyone should run that business or tell the business owner how to run their business. It's up to them. If you don't like the way the business is operated, then you choose another business.
Right.
And I'm happy to help people if they need something. What I hear is a bad experience in the past. What I also hear is trust issues. Another thing I hear is a high demand and an urgency to buy. So, and that's totally fine. And unfortunately, in our business, we get many phone calls, and those many phone calls are not always good phone calls.
Right.
And what triggers a transaction in real estate, what the consumers don't really see is that usually something's going on. If you're selling, if you're buying, not all the time is it beautiful. We definitely make dreams happen over here, but majority of the time it's, I lost my job. I'm getting a divorce. I just had a baby. I need some more space. I need this, and this. So I try to keep that into consideration. But the disrespect I don't allow.
No, absolutely not.
Which is why I called you yesterday, because I was like, so how am I gonna deal
I was
with
like,
this?
I want to get his number and give him a piece of my mind.
We use apps like Forewarn where you can type the phone number in, you can type the email in, because as female realtors, especially if I'm by myself, I'm not going to meet somebody I've never met before at a house.
Yeah.
Especially if they haven't got pre-approved, or I have a copy of their ID at least if I don't know them. If it's my cousin or my friend that I already know has, talked to you about getting a loan and they want to see this, probably going to waste more time there.
Right. Yes, 100%.
But yeah, that's just something that happens often.
Yeah.
It happens often because I'm a woman. It happens often because I'm young. Like when I first got into the industry, so many people were like, I want to buy a house. I'm like, do you want to buy a house or do you want to go on a date?
Right.
That doesn't sound like business here. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was tough for me to navigate as far as like wasting time. Luckily, I'm very analytical and I hit them where it hurts.
In the money pocket.
In the money pocket. But usually, and we talked about this yesterday, if these customers, because they're not clients because they don't sign a BBRA, if they are customers, usually they're pretty open and honest about what their situation is. And we sign an agreement to not disclose that to other people, just like lawyers do, right? And it's like the level of respect that realtors get, because unfortunately not all realtors operate the same.
We do have used car salesmen type of realtors for sure.
And, to each their own, but that's not the business that we're like.
That's not the way we do it. Yeah, absolutely not. And I mean, as a consumer, why in the heck would I want to waste my time looking at a house if I don't know for sure that I can get the house?
Yeah.
Like there's, it just makes sense. Get pre-approved first. It's not that big of a deal. It takes 24 hours if you check us out. And then we're off to the races looking for a home for you. But, to call somebody like that, it was just so, And
another thing, this person was like, I am making appointments all day. So I was like, when you said that, did you mean that you are scheduling multiple appointments with multiple realtors? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, are you working with one realtor, like in specific? And which is trust issues, is that I didn't want to commit, right? And usually either, everybody has their own value of what they see in a realtor. Our business and our practice is what, we preach, and education is a big thing. But I think some of these realtors or consumers that have been through 2008, through 1989, all those different markets, they unfortunately had a lot of used car salesmen out there that told them they had to do this, or you must do this, or there's no other way and there's no other option. That's another reason I got my real estate license when I was younger, because I kept getting denied for rent.
Oh, really?
When I had an 800 credit score, I made money, and I had a W-2, and they just didn't want to believe it because I was young.
Oh, wow.
And I even offered almost triple the deposit to get them, and they wouldn't, until I found a good property management company in town.
Wow.
So constantly I kept getting denied to be able to rent, even though I had the income and I
Right.
had the credit.
Right.
And if a realtor would have told me back then, I would have had another house
Yeah,
for like $100,000.
absolutely. Oh my gosh, the
But
equity you'd
instead,
have in it.
these realtors, or not realtors, these property management companies at the time, because they're a lot stricter now. Most of those companies aren't around anymore. They were just denying for not a valid reason. Mm-hmm. And tenants need to know their rights as well when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Right.
Because they just go with what the property manager tells them. Mm-hmm. And the property manager is there to protect them, not the tenant.
You know what I think is kind of interesting is with all the different loan programs we have now, it's almost easier for you to buy a house with less money than it is to rent with how much they want for rent. I
It's
think that's
wild.
pretty crazy. Let's get into the market update.
All right.
Let's see what's happened in the last week.
Okay. We said a little bit about it yesterday, but I'm going to pull it up right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We had our workshop yesterday. It was so fun.
It was so good.
It was awesome.
We love educating people.
Yes.
Maria's great.
Oh, thank you.
She's got her glasses and she's got her agenda, and she's like, okay, next we're going to talk about this. And I'm like, get it, girl. Yes.
No, but you got to get more involved. I need you to start talking too. I don't want to take the whole show over.
I love it. And everyone had so many questions, and it's just
it
a
was
safe
great.
space.
It was.
And there was a one person in specific, they were asking a lot of questions. They're like, I'm sorry. We're like, no, please do, because I think everybody else in the room just didn't want to ask.
Absolutely.
So when they asked, we were like, yeah, I was thinking
Keep
of that
going.
too. You're like,
Keep going.
okay. Okay, let's see. It always gets me to the mobile version. I don't want the mobile version.
Let's go.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. In the last 7 days in Las Vegas, in Clark County, actually, we have 1,072 new listings
In the last week.
in the last 7 days. Ooh, are you ready for this one?
Okay.
1,099 price decreases. Ooh, let's talk about that for a second.
Okay. That is definitely not all overpriced. There's some
No.
things going on. And I have seen it. I'm getting less than list price on every offer that I'm putting in. So people are willing to come down on price.
Rates also went up a little bit,
Yeah.
just a tad.
Just a little bit. So I can definitely see why that's happening.
Yeah. And I think spring is usually that time where they're like, I could have listed for a, we call it a sucker price, where you're just like, maybe someone will love it. Because there's
Yeah.
a lot of cash buyers in our market.
Yeah.
And if they love it, they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
But, you know, the locals won't.
Right. Yes.
And then we have 762 under contract. So that went up.
Oh, that went up. That's good.
Like almost 200 more people
Yeah.
under contract this week than last week. And then we have 253 withdrawals. So we didn't talk about that normally, but not that many expired, 74.
That's not bad.
So it's because they're all price decreases.
They're all, yeah. And to keep everything kind of like in context too, how many houses are actually on the market? Isn't it like 15,000 or what is the number?
Let me see.
Because I know 1,000 seems like a lot, but when we talk about the whole,
I don't think we're at 15,000.
We're not?
We're at like maybe 6,000.
oh, we are?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I have to look that.
Because, well,
I find
1,000 decreases, if it is 6,000, that's quite a bit. That's a big percentage.
I don't know where I can find it. I'm on the mobile version, so
Okay,
it doesn't let
sorry.
me look at
I
it.
didn't mean to put you on the
Oh,
spot.
you're okay. Something I think that's interesting in the last 7 days, which maybe we could talk about now because it's spring market, 12 contingent upon sale. What does that mean, Maria?
12 are contingent upon sale, meaning that the buyers have a home that they have to sell in order to purchase this house. So that means that they are selling their probably 2, 3, 4, 5% interest rate home, unless they own it for cash, to get into a new mortgage or pay cash. And that's not really happening that much because why would people give up a 2, 3, 4% interest rate? So are they contingent upon sale from California? From Vegas? Where are they contingent upon sale?
That's a great question.
You know?
I know that the last time I checked, probably like 6 months ago. It was like Cook County, Illinois, Los Angeles, the Bay Area, Seattle,
Yeah.
and New York
Okay.
or Florida.
Florida, yeah. So
Like-
a lot of those are could be cash buyers, and they're contingent upon sale to get the cash out of their home.
Yeah.
And they are not really concerned about interest rates. So there is that factor. But I mean, people do still have to move. It's like, you might have to move for a job, or you're having more babies and you need a bigger house. There are reasons why people still have to move. It's just people aren't moving to just upgrade for that very reason right now. So that's why there's not a whole lot of houses on the market.
Yeah, and I think based on what their experience was like before with their realtor they bought with is their depiction of the market.
You're right.
And not all the time are they on Google searching or on ChatGPT figuring out what to do. Those are actually the best ones
Right.
because they have some sort of idea of how the process works, because re-explaining the changes in our industry as these multiple lawsuits happen all the time because everyone's always sue happy is navigating what works best for you.
Yeah.
Because, if you have one bathroom and you have 3 boys, right, it ain't going to work. Or not
It's
2
not going to be
sinks,
fun in the mornings.
you might have to do some, what is it called? Policing in there.
Everybody gets 10 minutes, put the timer on.
Oh my gosh.
That would be crazy. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Like people ask us all the time, and they were asking yesterday at the workshop, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? What's the market like? And I can only tell you that we've been very busy, and our contracts that we have been writing, we are getting, below list price, and we're getting seller concessions, and we're getting them to buy down the rate for our buyers. So if you're a buyer, is it a good time to buy? I feel like it is, just from what I'm experiencing in the field. And as a seller, I think that's something that you have to look at what your finances are, what your goals are, what you're looking to get. And that question would have to be answered on an individual basis. I don't know that we could just say it's blanket a good time to sell. I think it's individual. Depends on the seller.
Absolutely. Like, when's the best time to list your home? Do you want to move in the summer?
Not in Vegas.
I mean, it really depends on, what your schedule is like,
Yeah.
how much you owe left on the home, how much you value the home, how much you need to move.
Right.
Because sometimes, baby's about to pop
Yeah.
and there's no nursery, so there are all these different kinds of ways. But as a seller in our market today, you have to be realistic with what your consumer is applying for a loan. It's not the same that it was when you applied 5-10 years ago. It's a $700 more, $800 more in our economy right now. I mean, Vegas is booming. I mean, if you go to TJ Maxx, they're all there.
Or Costco. Holy cow, that place
I'm
is
like,
never
do you
dead.
guys work?
That's what I wonder too.
Are you all retired? Can we just do a survey? I'm just going to stand out front and survey them. Because I'm not sure, not that I'm not sure, but their money's being spent elsewhere.
100%.
And to each their own, right? Like, you're cutting into your travel budget and your shopping budget.
Yeah.
And for me, my food budget. 'Cause I did
God,
get all you can
don't
eat
take
sushi
her
this
food.
weekend.
Yesterday with the donuts, as I'm like talking, all I see is Zeddy grabbing another donut. I'm like, God, I wish I could eat like this girl. I would gain 20 pounds if I would have ate like that.
I went home and ate another donut.
You did not.
And it's funny because we got Wicked Donuts over the weekend because
Yeah.
my in-laws are in town, and Kyle saw me bring home the pink box donuts, and he was like, "Don't bring donuts home again." And I was like, "Well, where did the other 2 Wicked Donuts go?" He goes, "I ate them."
You guys are bad.
Oh no! I'm like, this is why we go to the gym and work out, because like we just need to.
Yeah.
Like, I'll run like 5 miles and be
Just
like,
to have that donut.
Yeah, just for the
I
donut.
love that. That's fantastic. I'm so jealous.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you like working out?" Like, no, I like to eat. Okay,
does.
but after a while, when you start getting some donut fat, you're like, okay, I gotta run.
You gotta
like
run
a little bit.
Get it off. I love it. All right. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. If you liked what you heard on this podcast, please like and subscribe and tell a friend or 2 or 3. Thank you for coming.
See you next time. That's a wrap for this episode of the Sneaker Homegirls podcast.
We appreciate you for tapping in and rocking with us. Real estate, hustle, and sneakers. That's what we do.
If you got value from this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on that notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Also, follow us on Instagram at The Sneaker Homegirls for behind-the-scenes content, market updates, and of course, sneaker drops.
Let us know in the comments what topics you'd like us to cover next. We love hearing from you.
Until next time, keep hustling, stay fresh, and we'll catch you on the next episode.